All right, new day. Got my kicks back. Oh, that's what we used to call them back in the days, kicks, new sneakers, whatever. Anyway, new tire in the front is on. Got the new bearings installed. I'm not gonna show you how I took them out because I already have a video on that if you guys wanna see it. I'll put a link to it, it's coming up on the top right of your screen. But anyway, the bearings are in. One important thing that I wanna tell you though is when you're doing the rear tire on the 2004 Ultra Classic, you gotta do the right side bearing in first, put it in until the bottom's out. Then you're gonna do the left side bearing and put it in until it touches the center sleeve. If you're using the tool that Harley has for this, it's easy to do. If not, you really gotta listen to it to when it touches the inside sleeve. Definitely important to make sure that this is in correctly, the bearings, make sure the tires align correctly and all that kind of stuff. You don't want to be going down the highway and end up with a wheel wobble because something's misaligned, or lose control of your bike on a curve because the tire's not aligned correctly or it's not placed correctly. All right, first things first, we're gonna get this underneath the bike. It's all the way up, so we gotta angle it to get it in. There we go. All right, I'm gonna drop the bike a little bit. We're gonna get the belt on. Don't bend the belt or twist the belt or do anything funny with it. These belts are expensive, you don't want to ruin them. Okay, belt is on. Now, I'm going to drop the bike a little bit to get the spacer, the longer spacer with the edge. Goes on the outboard side, or the left side, which goes between the wheel and the swing arm. Yeah, of course you got your shaft or axle, whatever you want to call it. It's already been lightly greased and ready to go. Now that I dropped the jack down a little bit, the most difficult part is getting the spacer in here on this side. And getting the shaft through. So you either gotta do two things. Pick up the wheel at this point to get that spacer and the rim and the shaft all lined up and get started in there. Or drop the bike down a little bit more so it's easier to do, and that's what I did. And there we go. Go to the other side. Before we get this side together, I'm gonna have to put the brake caliper back in. Now there's a rubber piece on this caliper. It goes underneath the holder here. Can be tricky to get all this lined up. Okay, we're close. All right, now we need to get that spacer up in here between the caliper and the rim. And then you gotta line up the caliper with everything. And then somehow push the shaft all the way through. This is a two-person job. Would make it a lot easier. You're gonna put your lobe on, or I call a lobe, and your nut. So just snug it up by hand. And you're gonna push the wheel forward so both side lobes are touching the, I think this is called the weld stop. But anyway, you got a flat piece here, right? So push the wheel forward so both sides are touching. Now you're gonna torque this nut to 20 foot-pounds. Now we have to adjust the belt. To do that, we're gonna spin this side, because this side has a welded nut on it. And we're gonna spin it to where we need it to be to get the belt adjusted. Harley has a tool for these belts. It puts 10 pounds of pressure on the belt, and you should have, with the wheel hanging down, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's a 1/4 inch of play. No more than that. Now what I did was, when I took this apart, I actually marked it right here so I knew where to put it back without having to mess with the belt. But you do have markings down in here. You'll see it on the guide. You put about 10 pounds of pressure. You can guess at this. I mean, really, 10 pounds is not a whole lot. You shouldn't have more than a 1/4 inch of play. All right, now here's the trick. Once you have this done, you have to hold this side and tighten the other side to 100 foot-pounds. It says 90 to 105. I go 100 and I'm good. And then you check your belt, make sure it's good as far as the play goes. I would highly recommend you check your manual for all these specs. Every bike is going to be different. Don't go by what I'm telling you here. This is just for my Ultra Classic. It's a 2004. Newer bikes are probably going to be different. It's basically the same thing for the belts and all that, but torque-wise and all that might be different. You need to check your shit. So this is the tricky part. We're going to hold it here, and we're going to tighten it on the other side. All right, now that I got everything torqued down, I'm going to go ahead and put the clip in. All right, clips in. I like to spin the tire, make sure it's not hitting anything, see how true it is and whatnot. The muffler's gonna go back on. I use Loctite on the back bolts because these tend to come loose. So I use the red Loctite just to keep them in place. Every now and then I'll actually check these, just make sure they stay in place. So the only thing I do right now is I'll get this started, all right? And the clamp right here for the muffler, go ahead, get that in place, and then we tighten it. I think Harley recommends replacing this clamp here after so many uses. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how many times I've taken this muffler off and put it back on, and this clamp is still the same one. I'm sure there's a torque spec for this, but I just tighten the crap out of it. And that's that. Now we'll come back to the back. I think the torque spec on these is 15 foot-pounds. Not 100% sure. I just snug them up a little bit more than tight, and I'm good. I would recommend you look up the torque specs on these. Do what you want. That's how I do it. Now this side, I just bring the muffler back up. You don't need to take this muffler off on this model because there's a clamp up top. You can loosen that a little bit, and it just slides right down and gets out of the way. So you know, you don't have to take the whole thing off. It's up to you, but I'm not. And if you did loosen the clamp up front to allow that muffler to drop down, don't forget to tighten that up. Real easy to get to. There we go. So that's it. Bike has new kicks on it. I didn't show you the front wheel because I already did the front wheel. I already did all that stuff, how to take it off, how to put it on. Basically, go to the maintenance, motorcycle maintenance playlist, and it's all in there. You'll find it all in there. I showed you the rear wheel because I haven't done a video on that yet, and basically it's simple. Gotta make sure the spaces are in properly. Gotta make sure if you're gonna do wheel bearings, you're gonna do the right side bearing first. That's the one with the disc on it. Bottom that one out. And then the other bearing should butt right up to the sleeve, the inner sleeve on the rim. And make sure everything's lined up correctly. And make sure the tension on the belt is correct too. If these wheels ain't perfectly aligned with each other, all right, ain't centered on that bike, you're gonna get a wobble. You're gonna lose control of the bike on a curve. You're gonna get a wobble at high speeds. You might even notice it at low speeds when you go to turn and stuff. Very dangerous. If you've never had a wobble at high speeds, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But I've been riding since I was 16. I faced a few wobbles. Not something I ever want to do again. First time happened to me was on a Suzuki. I was doing about, I don't know if I can actually tell you the speed on here. But anyway, that thing started wobbling on me, freaked the shit out of me. I thought I shit my pants. I don't know how else to put it. It's a scary thing when it does happen. Especially for someone who's inexperienced, and at the time I was an inexperienced rider. I was a new rider, and anyway, I dealt with it. I didn't crash. I did okay. But yeah, make sure these wheels are on right, make sure the spaces are in the right spot. If you don't have a service manual, I suggest you get one if you're gonna do your own work, because you do have to look up torque specs, you have to have an idea of what's supposed to have what. It's very important you torque these bolts down. You don't wanna be going on the road and all of a sudden you lose a freaking axle. But anyway, that's it. She got new kicks, sneakers, tires, whatever you wanna call it. And I'm good for the rest of the season. I'm very happy with it. All right, you all. Take care. God bless. See you later.